the spiritual process really has to destroy itself. It has to consume itself. Call it an Ouroboros phenomenon or whatever. But this really is critical as we engage spirituality, whatever that is for us. And when I say spirituality here, I mean genuine aspiration for awakening and realization and liberation and non-duality, whatever. I mean, really engaging this process. As that happens, there's always going to be a kind of side effect, some collateral damage. Maybe not collateral damage, but a side effect, something that comes along with the deal. And that is that we will accumulate a kind of spiritual, I could say identity, but not talking directly about identity here. I might just say there's a spiritual fragrance that we're going to accumulate in this process. It's just part of the deal. It's going to happen. Now, some people may be listening to this going, what the heck are you talking about? And the reason you don't know what I'm talking about is because you're so drenched with the perfume yourself. Not everybody, of course. But some people, it's just spirituality has become so important to you. And you're so infused with it. And you're so oriented to it. And the genuine yearning for realization isn't what I'm talking about. That's there. And there's also something there that's this kind of perfume that feels like what you think spirituality is, or what it seems to be, or what you think it'll give you. But even without those thoughts, it's a kind of preconceptual. Feels like, used to feel like a part of your life. Now maybe it feels like it's kind of like most or all of your life. And it usually feels good and it feels freeing, but it's also kind of infused with this a bit of seeking that's still there, like the next thing or the big one at the end or whatever that feels like, or the thoughts seem to construct. That whole flavor, what I'm saying, that whole flavor of that, at some point will just go away. It'll collapse. And this phenomenon I'm talking about, this whole spiritual process eating itself or destroying itself, it really varies person to person, meaning some people, this is not that big of a deal. I don't know why. For some people, it just makes sense. Like, yeah, it's got to go. Everything's got to go. And like, oh, it doesn't feel good when it's going, or there's definitely some grasping that's still there. That's kind of letting go and feeling some grief around that and some helplessness. Like, and yet they're not actually fighting it. Like in their mind, they know, and in their heart, they know it wasn't really real anyway, right? It's just part of the deal. Other people, though, really want to hold on to the spiritual thing. Yeah. And it comes in all kinds of flavors, by the way. It doesn't have to just be contemporary, nondescript spirituality. It could be Zen. It often is. Like, you don't want to let go of Zen. I mean, Zen practitioners that are serious, monks, teachers. Again, not all, but enough for sure are out there, right? Dzogchen practitioners, Advaita Vedanta practitioners and teachers, traditions, even non-traditions, people who have a relational, devotional relationship with God. That's your spirituality. All of those flavors at some point are going to go if this process propagates through its natural course. I like how Nisargadatta said it in such a simple way. He said, if you regress properly, the I am sense will go away. And that's really good, right? Because so much of Advaita Vedanta and so forth is around that kind of inquiry into the self, the small self, large self, the small s self and the capital S self, the Atman, the I am, all of it. And yet he just said, if you regress properly, it will go away. Like the most precious will just drop as well. Call it consciousness. Call it your idea of emptiness. Call it your idea of, anything. Zen, Buddhism, Hinduism, Advaita Vedanta, Taoism. What are you oriented to, right? What is your spiritual flavor? What is the spiritual flavor that you identify with, that you appreciate and love, that you have a relationship with, knowing that that will go. It will be wiped away. Wonder how this comes across. I'm going to hear about it in comments. Many people I know watching this will totally get this. And for many people, it's already happened. But some will really want to cling to it. And I'll be like, yeah, that's true. But, it's the but that matters though. Because it's like, that's hidden beneath that. But that's the part you don't want to let go of. Yeah. You knew this whole thing was about letting go, right? You knew that from the beginning. So yeah, this process in a sense destroys itself. The vehicle that carries you across the river self-destructs. And it's a good thing. Because it reveals what is. Reality unconditioned by mind, judgments, thoughts, beliefs, paradigms, ideas you have about the way it should all be and look, and what it means to be a person, and what it means to be an awake person, what it means to be an integrated person. Like all that stuff will have to go to live total naturalness. And total naturalness also, I should say, is, I don't know if I want to say it's the goal, because the goal depends on the person who's holding the idea of the goal, but it's the final conclusion of this. Certainly in Buddhist doctrine, in traditional Buddhist doctrine, Pali-canon and so forth. There are really good pointers to this. The Bahia Sutta being one of them. And various Zen maps, the 10 ox-herding pictures, the 8th ox-herding picture is very clear on this. Tozan's ranks, Tozan's third rank is this whole thing eating itself, destroying itself, falling away. And it goes beyond that too. The integration process goes beyond that. And when I say integration, I don't mean integration before the deep insights, because a lot of times people want to integrate before the deep insights, but they're just afraid of the deep insights. But once the deep insights have clarified, that's when the real integration starts. And I mean integration of relative and absolute, not integration of spirituality and your awakening with what you want out of it. That's not what I mean at all. I just mean it's a very natural progression. So, yeah, don't know why I said that, but I thought maybe you wanted to hear that, or didn't want to hear it but needed to, or some part of you wanted to hear it. And it's totally okay. And it can be very surprising to some people. Even people who've heard this can be surprised by it. And others, it just feels totally natural. So, there's many types of awakenings and responses to awakening as there are personalities and psyches. So that's that.